On an episode of Adam G has this question and asking for a story from my past. Adam G says, on an episode of Mythbusters, you mentioned you had to buy a roommate a new microwave. Can you go into more detail? You seem pretty frustrated about it, and I was always curious what happened. Yeah, it is so funny what the unknowing can do. And here's how this played out. I can't even remember what I put a bowl in the microwave that had a metal top that I didn't realize was metal. I thought it was plastic. I think that's what happened. And so when you do that, you get sparking, and you can get that sparking can actually wear out the magneto of the microwave. It can wear out the transmitter of microwave energy, or shorten its lifespan, if I remember correctly. It has been literally 20 years since we shot the episode about microwave ovens. And for some reason, I think this microwave of my roommate's, this is 1990, it made some sound like that. And we didn't know what that sound meant. We were barely cognizant of how microwave ovens actually work. We didn't know that there's this magneto and it's pointed into a Faraday cage, and that the relationship between those two is part of what does the cooking, and that the waves bounce around, and that actually if you don't see much sparking, it's fine to put some metal in there, because actually some of the platens you have that move your food around are actually made of metal. They just don't have exposed parts on them. But we didn't know any of that. And my roommate was really pissed and made me buy a new microwave. And I thought the microwave was still functioning correctly. It was still timing things and cooking things at the same timings we were doing before. And I didn't think that it was necessary. But I didn't have a leg to stand on, since I was the a-hole that put metal in the microwave. This roommate tended to be kind of shamey. He sort of liked to, he's one of those people that, when you messed up, he liked to sort of put his thumb on that wound and sort of give you a little extra crap. So that's why I seemed a little frustrated. I'm still a bit salty about it. Let's see. There's one here. This is a bit of a tangent from the usual questions, but someone wants to know. Oh, wait, their name is over here. Mark Blair wants to know, how good a cook am I? Chef level, enthusiastic, amateur, or no hoper? Oh, I am absolutely not chef level. I am a very enthusiastic amateur. I have a good palate. I am often, my wife gives me my two favorite jobs in the kitchen. Frequently when she's going to cook, and my wife is I would define her skill as a really gifted home cook. She really understands the dishes that she makes. She workshops them. She modifies them. She A/B tests stuff. She's just very, very serious about the outcome of her cooking, and the stuff she makes is freaking delicious. When I am helping her in the kitchen, one of the primary ways I help is by doing her prep. So I will line up all of her ingredients in order that they are in the recipe, so that she can pick up each one. And I'll even do water, all of that, so salt, I'll do all of it. So I love knolling out all of the pre-prepped materials, and I'm really good at chopping and knife skills and all of that stuff. The other job she gives me is the finishing job. So she'll make she made a wonderful cauliflower soup a few weeks ago. I love cauliflower. I don't cook with cauliflower very much, which is ridiculous, because every time it's in a restaurant, I order it, because in a high-end restaurant, the cauliflower dish is always going to blow your mind, I swear. It is like the unsung food. It is like, it doesn't get much respect, but well prepared cauliflower is amazing. Anyway, my wife made this delicious cauliflower soup, and she was just getting it to the finish line, and she handed it to me and said, can you figure out what it needs for finishing? And what this means is, you can do all of the ingredients in a dish that are listed in the recipe, and in the end, it can taste bland. That totally happens. And frequently that happens, right? Because you want to season it to taste. So when you're writing a recipe, you don't want to write this full seasoned recipe because you don't know what ingredients they're using. You don't know how good the vegetables and the materials they're using are. You want to sort of give yourself room to move. You want to give that home chef room to move. I think recipes do this all the time. And the way you bring that recipe to its final fruition is by adding things that will wake up the taste profile. The two that come to mind that I use most regularly are vinegar and salt. I've always used salt, and salt really is, it's not like it brings its own flavor. It's like it properly applied salt wakes up all the other flavors and holds them in contrast to each other so you can really taste them. And vinegar does the same thing. A white vinegar in a soup can do a very similar job that salt does. And it's surprising how little can actually, fully change the way a soup hits your palate, the way the taste from that soup lands and lasts on your palate. As you can tell from the way I'm talking, I do pay a lot of attention to the mechanics and the science of cooking. Years ago, here on the channel, I shot a really fun barbecue technique video with Kenji Lopez Alt, who has since become a all-seeing juggernaut of home cooking, A/B testing, and the science of cooking. And we love us some Kenji in our household. My wife, she's like, a lot of her sentence begins with Kenji says. So I'm a serious amateur. The dish that I cook are eggs. We actually, years ago, we did a video in my home kitchen with amazing world-renowned chef Tracy Desjardins, who's a very good friend of mine, where we cooked each other our version of the omelet. And I made her my 2-egg omelet. She made me a 2-duck-egg French omelet, which was about the size of a football. It wasn't quite the size of a football, but man, duck eggs are humongous. So I like the eggs. The eggs are my favorite thing. A good slow cook scramble or a nice refined little 2-egg omelet with some avocado and some red pepper flakes, maybe some fried shallots in there. That's my breakfast thing. We're having some friends and my kids, my sons and some friends of theirs over for brunch on Sunday, and I will, as I always do for a home brunch, make a slow cook scramble with a bunch of chives in there. That's my dish. That's one of my favorite dishes. If you want to know how I do my slow cook scramble, what you got to do is go on to the YouTube and do a search for Gordon Ramsay's slow cooked eggs. I follow the recipe that he illustrates in that video exactly, and it has never failed me. It literally, like, people are like, how the hell do you do these eggs? Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support us even further, you can by becoming a tested member. Details are, of course, below, but it includes all sorts of perks, and we're building them all the time. You get advanced word and behind-the-scenes photos of some of our projects. Questions, you get to ask direct questions during my live streams, and we have some members-only videos, including the Adam real-time series of unbroken, unedited shots of me working here in the shop. They are weirdly meditative. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next one.